tree of life, tree of knowledge, living sculpture. Branches reaching high to the sky, shelter and inspiration. Roots spreading deep within the earth, history and nourishment. I explore my senses through these works of art, visually, audibly, by touch. I watch their motions carefully. I learn about them with reverent eyes. I feel the sense nature emits, the freshness of the air, the softness of the grass. Everything is beauty and harmony. My place is here. I live here. I belong here. When we take a walk in these green, extensive gardens, a physically limitless gallery, we perceive that Gabriel Fonseca's sculptures are like complements to natural landscapes, birds, fish, and arches displaying a geometry essentially derived from nature itself. His ideas are free, floating, drifting in the wind, his colors primary, naive, which, far from disturbing, convey joy. His work is of a sensitive, almost childish neoplasticism. In a mere glimpse, we can feel the driving force behind his work, the ultimate expression of the joy in artistic discovery. Gabriel Fonseca was born in 1938 in Rio de Janeiro, exuberant tropical city. Riotous colors, fresh colors, huge granite mountains, exotic flowers, dark green forests. The sun, the sand, the sea, yellows, whites, and blues, the flux of the waves, the flight of the birds, the breeze, the wind, the storm, perfect movements, nature incredibly at hand. As a child, he breathed in the intellectual atmosphere of erudite and sophisticated minds. His father was a poet and a pianist, and he was raised by grandparents, both writers. All these elements combined in a melting pot brought to life the sculptor Gabriel Fonseca, but not before he made a career as a master builder. An engineer graduate, Gabriel Fonseca founded and managed a very successful business for more than 30 years. Under his direction, thousands of metric tons of steel and other metals, assembled with different welding techniques, became bridges, buildings, factories, very large structures, huge pressure vessels. He always strove to endow his precisely constructed creations with a personal touch which made each quite unique. He expected more than technical excellence from his structures and equipment. He wanted them to exhibit lightness and a delicate balance of form. He was already making sculptures. In 1996, Gabriel Fonseca, the successful businessman, retired to dedicate his full time and energy to the pursuit of art. The engineer gave way to the artist who lay dormant for so many years. Having mastered steel as a material for practical, mundane uses, Gabriel now turned that knowledge to bend matter to his will. His restless imagination and childhood memories give birth to simple and light objects full of poetry. In his studio, which he refers to as the workshop, the artist is always looking for the essential ideas or the basic elements for his creations. He wants to be concise, precise in form and content. And to create with humor, for this sense is the indispensable ingredient of art as it is of life. Gabriel Fonseca set up his workshop amid 40 acres of magnificent gardens in a century-old coffee plantation in Pati do Alferes, 70 miles from the city of Rio de Janeiro. There, Gabriel conceives and brings to life his works of art, not only in the form of steel sculptures, but also turning the original landscape into a unique tropical sculpture garden. Gabriel Fonseca has had an annual exhibition of his work for some years. His first individual show in 1998 was in the Açude Museum in Rio de Janeiro. Medium and small sculptures which clearly revealed the influence of the North American sculptor Alexander Calder. Basic colors and organic shapes were the main elements. In 1999, in his second solo exhibition at the Post Office Cultural Center, the artist revealed bigger objects, such as wind ritual, which indicated the direction of his art. Kinetic sculptures painted with strong colors and reproducing common objects or animals. In his most recent individual show at the Republic Museum Gardens in Rio de Janeiro, Gabriel Fonseca presented a symbiosis of the previous shows, with also a taste for the dynamic sculpture with plenty of shapes drawn from nature. Gabriel Fonseca was also invited to exhibit abroad, including at the Meguro Museum in Tokyo, Japan, and the Pure Walk 2001 in Chicago, United States. As a sculptor, Gabriel Fonseca is empirical, the shapes arising as he works the material, the psyche of the work being molded into his very own body structure, metallic and malleable. Then the colors come into play. Once the marriage between the shape and function is made, the works then need to occupy their true place in the gardens, woods, forests, in a perfect visual equilibrium. Living sculptures, trees of knowledge, trees of life.